Good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your weekly metals video. And this is for Halloween, October 31st, 2021. I'm in Mexico, so you're not able to see my beautiful face, and it'd be scary enough on Halloween, anyways, right? So that's probably the way to look at it. But it is an interesting time. One of the things I've been telling you was I thought that the market and the gold got up to key resistance on the daily charts, and it was going to churn. And that's exactly what we're getting, and we're even seeing that on the weekly charts. You'll see that in a moment. The dollar did get strong again, up nearly 80 points. Take a look at that on as you can see it on Friday, and down hard in the euro and the other currencies, much harder than people thought that they might go. The bonds and notes, all we're seeing is flattening going on there in the curve yield. So let's go to this chart and get a feel for just what the heck we have one way or the other. On a monthly chart, you still have a pattern, and should be the disconcerting part to you. Lower highs, and if you look at this low, 1673.30 to this 1692.60. I'm going to repeat, 1673.30 to 1692.60. So you've got the pattern of lower highs, and then you've got to look at the lower and low. The key in the market to know that you're getting somewhere, and this is the right setup for it, is to get over by the end of this month 1834.5. If you can clear that high and finish the month off on a monthly basis over 1822.70, I get a move that is calling for a challenge of the upper Bollinger Band. Until that occurs on a monthly basis, the pros are selling it this time into the 1822.70 level with a stop at 1834.60. That's what I think will happen there. The weekly chart, if you just go to the close only basis, you can see you're just fighting right now at that 18-week average. If you go to the weekly chart itself, it's almost like a stepping ladder. You ran into this double top, triple top formation, some would call that, backed off and coming back up. What do we have in a pattern? If you come to the high right here, it's 1832.60, and then you go to 1834.50, and you come this way with higher lows. So you got higher highs, higher lows, the definition of an uptrend, unless and until 1721.40 is broken to the downside. When you look at where the key moving averages are, you've got the 100-week right here, the 18-week, the 200's far away, so it's not in play. This is where the market's fighting its battle, right through these two numbers. Not quite the same as the monthly chart and the lookup, because you're already in an uptrend. The settlement at 1783.90 was under 1785.40, and when that happens, you've got the bias down. I judge bias in the market by the relationship of close, or the last trade, to the 18-week average of closes. So support 1769.70, resistance 1785.40. You need to get up and stay over that. Do I think the pros might have been nibbling on long positions in here? They might have. It's a heck of a risk, though, at 1721.30, so it's $6,000. It's an awful lot to me. When I look at the Bollinger Bands, well, they haven't been in play for a while. If you look back here, you hit 1721.40, okay, but the Bollinger Band itself was 1719.30, so you haven't hit it since way back there, and that date, just so we look at it, was August 13th. You're narrowing in, which is the good news. Is this going to turn out to be bullish or bearish? Well, if you think inflation's going to be real, if you think that those plays are coming, then this is the consolidation before a move to the upside. Otherwise, it's just another one of these events where you think, hey, gold's just no good. When I look at the gold on the weekly slow stochastic, it's still pointing up. So I've got the trend up, the bias down, momentum still pointing up. The gold-silver ratio was pulled back and fighting its battle now against the 18-week moving average of closes at 74.07, and the silver chart is not as good looking as the gold. It has a lower low and a higher high. The bias is down, you don't have a trend, and momentum is trying to point to the upside. I had been looking, and I'd been saying I thought that the copper market would fall back to the 18-week average and try to find its support there. I have not changed my opinion. I think the bulls are buying the market here. It's a heck of a risk again. You're not wrong this unless you get under 411.40. I don't agree with some of the articles that I read that because the Chinese have been able to control coal prices, that coal prices have been falling, and with it, the copper. No, I see it as the opposite of those stories. If you can keep the manufacturing going because you've got energy, well, for durable goods and the items that America and other countries are looking for, they're going to be manufacturing those goods. There's more copper demand. I don't understand the story I read. I'm sure somebody's going to enlighten me on it, and I do want to be enlightened. I'm not seeing the argument there. But if you bounce back, look for the resistance 461 area. In the platinum market, the battleground's right through here. Now, the interesting thing for platinum and palladium is this week we heard from Ford and Stellaris that the chip shortage in autos is, at least it's not getting worse, it's improved slightly, and they're going to be able to produce more cars. Not a lot more, but the production swinging the other way for a change. Well, if that production swings eventually, you do realize practically all the cars made today, as much as we hear about electric, are combustion engines. And as with that, you need the catalytic converters. So I'm still looking for these markets to find their legs. You don't have a trend. You have a higher high, lower low, and you're neutral right here. Dollar index, look at the vengeance this came back with. However, it's loaded with resistance points. Here at the 100-week average, you've got the upper Bollinger Band, the 200-week average. You're not going to tell me that this is an area that it's easy to buy it and say it's just going to keep going higher. I'm not buying that. That was the news that we have. You might want to take a look at this course I have right through here, because I think what you'll find is it's very helpful in learning more about Bollinger Bands.